So I want to say that I wasn't interested in doing the coaching until probably at least 4 months in. I started realizing that people were reaching out about, what I was doing and things like that, what they can do. So I guess all the people, I had a really good month. Last month, October, I really did well. My goal was to help 2 people and change their lives. And then I ended up helping 4. So that was really, really awesome and a really good confidence booster. Yeah. But how I did it, I try to think of all the minor details that I did. And I honestly think it was just the communications between everybody. So everybody that signed up last month, I had been talking to them endlessly this whole time that I've been doing this whole program. This is not something that I met them in 2 weeks and then they signed up. Like, they had been watching me. We had kind of been talking, and it slowly escalated into it. So I guess the important things that I wanted to touch base on was that when I talk to somebody about the program, like, I try not to overwhelm them with the process, because Beachbody, it's a lot of information and there's so many different levels that you can talk about, but really it's about finding what interests them, like what they saw in you that let them approach you, that gave them the question to ask you, or anything like that. It's just to find that little bit and then just stick with that for a little bit and kind of tread water and not overwhelm them, because if I feel that you overwhelm them, they totally ghost you and then they're gone. So baby steps, little tread water. Don't go swimming the 30 meter. Okay. Okay. So what else I wanted to say was, like, being a coach isn't really about helping people that, I don't really know how to explain it. I guess I don't really think I'm going to help the people that are just like me. And I guess being a coach, you kind of learn a little bit about yourself as well. So for an example, I'm really, and Crystal, I'm going to bring you up in this, because I grew up really, like, I really believe in the healthcare system and I really believe in medicine and things like that. But as I grew, I kind of started turning into the holistic way of medicine stuff, herbal remedies and things like that. And then it was like, once I started kind of watching Crystal, it was like, this is a real deal. Like, that's a real feeling. There's really people out there who truly believe in the all natural aspects of the earth and all of its goodness. And that's what I connected with Crystal on. It wasn't that she was working out. It wasn't what, she was drinking every day. It was that little connection that drove me to her. And then all of a sudden it was like this whole world opened up for me for other things. So that's the point I'm trying to say when it comes to, like, finding these people that you don't really think you're going to connect with, and all of a sudden you do. So another thing is, especially when it comes to, there's really, really skinny people out there who've been born that way, who've always been told their entire lives is that you need to eat more, go have a cheeseburger. Nobody's ever said that to me before, ever. And so I can't relate to that with them. But once you get to talk to them and there's something that sparks within them, and then you come to realize that, they've got sadness because they can't gain weight, and they've got sadness because their weight issues, they have fertility issues, things like that. And then all of a sudden we're connecting on a different level. So there's so much more to, like, what meets the eye with all these people, that these little conversations, these little pick-me-ups, these little things that you guys can say back and forth, it really start reading into everything that they say, because you can always, like, ask an open-ended question to them. Like, it doesn't have to be yes or no things for them. You can slowly go into it. So that's kind of where I think I'm really good at, because I am a really good people person, but I do feel like that there's more than when they say one sentence, they really want to say at least 3, but they're only telling me 1. So it's like our job to kind of, keep talking and keep being interested. Like, if there's a vibe there, you can't ignore that. You're connected, and that's going to drive them back to you to talk more, you know. I don't know. It's kind of weird when you say it out loud, but that's just personally how I feel. So truly, I mean, if you want any homework from tonight, I highly suggest you look through all your Facebook friends and find the one girl that you don't really talk to, you're just kind of friends with because you were friends or you knew her in high school or something like that, and you really have no idea where she is in life, and just message her and say, hey, we're doing this program next month. I'm just looking for a couple people. Are you interested? And then just go from there. They say yes or no, or, oh, really? What is it? I mean, you can always feed off of this stuff. And even if they say no, that's you putting yourself out there, and it's going to help you become that much more confident when it comes around again to somebody else who does respond to you, because then you're going to be that much more ready. So that's kind of how I feel about that. What else can I say? I do feel it's really important to comment on stories, on their post, even if it's a reaction, or I mean, something simple like they posted a family picture and you're like, oh my God, I love that background. Like, where did you take that picture? Was that just recently? Was it over the weekend? Like something to spark a conversation. That's all you need, because that's what this program is just like a connection with people. And so, you know, like being a coach, you're not always helping somebody that's trying to lose weight. You're actually helping that person who just is going through a divorce, who is going through a breakup, who is starting a new job or hates their job, or they're depressed at home. They got kids that don't listen, that have behavioral issues. You're helping all these people that have all these other issues other than weight loss. And that's what needs to be really brought out with this Beachbody, is that it's not about all weight loss. It could start that way. I mean, that's why I started, because I wanted to become skinny and hot and have a butt like J-Lo. But in the process of all this stuff is that I've learned to love myself a little bit more and appreciate the body that I was born in. And, you know, that was something that helped me. So, any questions so far? I guess I haven't been reading the comments. I'm sorry. I'll go back in here a little bit.
I'll unmute. The comments have been blowing up. You're so cool. Just basically every time you say something, we're just like, yep, yep, there, feeling it. I know Dina was mentioning like resonated so much when just you talking about in the beginning how like you and I came together, because it's like, oh, people actually care about like the earth and the world and more than just going to Walmart or whatever it is, you know? So like she definitely felt that so freaky much. Tracy was congratulating you on last month being amazing. And then also she said that she still word vomit. So she's working on that. What else? Let's see. So I freaking loved it. I've never thought of it this way when you said like when you're talking to someone and they write one sentence, they really want to write 3. So true. Even myself, like I'll be writing, and I mean, obviously I write 10 sentences, but I really want to write 15. And so I always have to like dial it back, like that person that's not, you know, they're not excited to talk to me because they have no idea who I am yet, but like, I'm excited to talk to them. So I don't know. That really resonated with me a ton. And then, so my one question that I had was, you mentioned like it started with weight loss for you. So that was the same thing for me. It started with weight loss. And then even looking back, like I hate it because in my life right now, or even for like the past few years, like there's always been the stigma. Like I hate the word weight loss or fat or calories. Like I hate these words. And so my question to you is, hi. So you mentioned starting with weight loss. I am the same way. Like that's what drew me. And then, like you said, the reason we're still here is obviously not the weight loss. It's actually being happy with where we are in our bodies and our lives. How do you speak to that? So like, how do you speak to that person? Like, especially how would you speak to me or like anybody in general? The fact that like, I still think that those words are dirty and I need to like, it's kind of like when you say like you eat a piece of cake and, oh, I'm bad, I ate a piece of cake. Like, no, you're not bad. Or like, I'm bad, I want to lose weight. Like, do you get what I'm trying to?
Yeah. Okay. So right away, when you asked me that question, I thought about Brooke. She's my little blonde bombshell. She was the one that I didn't think could need my help. And I approached her and all of a sudden she's like, you know what? I've been watching you and it does sound kind of interesting. Tell me more. So I was like totally baffled by that already.
but she was already like a smaller person and she just wants to look hot in her wedding dress. And I approached it like, obviously, yes, I understand you want to lose some weight, but please know that success is measured in so many different ways, and that the scale is just one way to measure. Because if you start working now and you start working on what you're eating and how you take care of your body, how you time management stuff, you know, to focus on you, to make yourself a priority, when you put that wedding dress on in May, you are going to walk through that room with confidence and feeling amazing. It's not going to be because you stepped on the scale that morning and you were 10 pounds lighter. That's not the point. You are going to feel like a rock star and it's going to glow. You are going to radiate that through the whole room. And so like, that's kind of how I talked to her about that. And she was like, oh yeah, I kind of get that. So I do have her and others, I guess, that have been upset about not always losing on the scale. And I totally can relate to that because I've been struggling with the scale too. I mean, I'm only at my 15 pounds that I lost initially, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I haven't lost anymore. And it's not that I'm really at a plateau. It's just that I feel like the weight really isn't changing anymore. It's just more of how I feel and how my body is shaping. And so I feel like just reiterating that to people really opens their eyes for it because they see that I'm living and breathing it. And it also helps when you like post the pictures, the before and after. That's why it's amazing, because I can post a before and after picture of myself and say, this is what I look like a month ago. And I look slightly different, but I didn't lose any weight. Like, surprise, you don't always need to lose weight to change how you look. I mean, it just kind of happens that way. It's the beauty of science.
Yes, love that. Awesome. Anybody else? Dina, Tracy, do either of you have any questions for Dani before we get into party hour or party whatever? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mute myself because it's loud.
I have no questions if you're asking me. None. I asked all my questions yesterday.
No, I'm asking everyone, not just you. And then I muted myself because the people upstairs are elephants. Good elephants. All right. Well, I guess we can release you of your hosting duties, Dani. Thank you so much. It was really good. I think, yeah, the science, like the art's just the connection and the communication is just the art of it. It was really funny. I think it was like a year ago, we were all talking about how we have to put like the social back in social media because like people were just like scrolling and not like I would love to just tap and watch stories, but I can't because I force myself to, if I'm watching a story, I'm commenting and if I don't have anything I want to say to that person, then I'm unfollowing that person. Why am I watching it? So it's like just kind of being active and engaged when I am on there to be intentional. But yeah. Oh, we lost a message, Rosie. I don't know where she went, but yeah. Oh, she's got it. Anyways, so I don't know. My child's a freaking pterodactyl, but he's far enough away that it's probably not bothering you guys. Dina. Okay, cool. Dina had a mouse run in her basement.
You guys, I hate. You have no idea, and I'm sorry you're recording, and I swore, but I was sitting there, and I'm like deathly afraid of mice, and all of a sudden, this little mouse, we have this mattress like across from me, and it ran down the mattress, and I screamed, and I ran, and I left the basement, I left all the lights on, and I shut the door.
Oh,
and all my workout stuff is down there, our laundry's down there, and Raj is gone all week, and I'm like, ugh, I hate mice so bad.
Oh my God. Do you think you can get your daughter to go down there and figure that out?
She's not here. She's with her mom. And Raj is like, we'll go down there right away and put a trap out. I'm like, F you. I'm not going down there till you get home now.
Like everything is gone.
That laundry's going to get moldy. Too bad.
Oh, gross.
Sick. I hate mice.
Rodents are nasty.
Adam, we just had a mouse last week and it went up Adam's pant leg. He didn't even know it was out there until he couldn't find it, and then he felt it move, and he like shook his leg and went flying. And he's like, "Get out of know."
No, thank you.
I wasn't home. He just called me like immediately after, and it was really funny. He was hysterical.
Jeez.
Dani, I got my COVID shot today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I thought of you.
Did you cry?
No, I was really anxious on the way there, though. I took a Xanax.
Nothing wrong with that. I love me a little Prozac. So how do you feel?
I feel fine. I mean, my arm is sore, but I got it at 10 a.m. So maybe it's just too soon.
Okay. I want to say I was just really tired and just like, well, I told you that. I was just really tired and really foggy for the first couple days. But then I got my second one and I didn't feel anything. Like, I'm pretty sure they just injected saline, which I'm really okay with.
Mm-hmm.
But there was I had no reaction whatsoever.
Well, our deadline
Yep.
is the 24th. So I felt like I waited as long as I possibly could. And I did, yeah. I wasn't happy about it, but I was like, you know what? I can't lose my job right now. So guess I'm just gonna go get the dumb shot.
Right. Yeah, that's the crappy part, that you actually have to think of it financially. It doesn't even matter. They say they give you a choice. Well, bullshit, because you really don't have a choice, because if you have a family to take care of, you need an income. And I'm not full-time Beachbody yet, so that won't work.
Not quite.
I did my workout right before this so that I could psych myself out. So if my body's sore, I'll just be like, oh, it's just from working out. It's not from the vaccine.
Nice plan. I like
Good
it.
Speaking of full-time Beachbody coach, you guys, Dina bought a shit ton of badass Beachbody coach gear. And she also wants to come December 4th to our Emerald retreat. So she has to hit Emerald in 3 weeks.
I bought one coach shirt and one other shirt because they were on that clearance. But Crystal was like, if you're going to buy the shirt, you have to be a coach. But I don't have Facebook. So how am I supposed, and I refuse to get Facebook back. So how am I supposed to reach out to people? I'm like in the Flintstone age.
Instagram.
You're going to have to, yep. You're going to have to break out the CB out of your truck and start talking like that. It's a prehistoric internet. Breaker. So I think you're going to have to start from the basics, people you see every day. Start with family, friends of friends. Maybe you could do it maybe not think of it as a long-term thing for them. Maybe just say, hey, just sign up because I want to do this for the month, and I know it's a lot for the initial price, but it's a one-time big fee. You get everything you need. And then in a month, you just cancel it if you want. If you don't like it, we can always say stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you were saying. I didn't start it to lose weight. I started it more mentally, to feel better, my anxiety and that, which Crystal has known that we've known each other for years, through drinking, but we've always talked about our similarities, with anxiety and our emotions. And so that's why I did it. And I was like, I want to do the workouts, but I don't want to do any of the nutrition stuff. Well, now this month I again renewed my shakes. And I was like, yeah, I want to keep doing this. But for me, it's more of I genuinely feel better. It's not about, I don't know. I mean, yes, it's nice to lose weight and feel better, but for me, it really is